For me, one of the important ingredients of being a good architect is developing a level of trust with your clients. So many architects can be viewed as egomaniacs. So many architects have a signature style that it doesn't matter in the context of where it is, there's that particular window or particular form that they're known for. I think it's critically important to be the good listener and develop an architecture that is responsive to the client's goals and objectives, and that also fits the context of where you're building. One of the things that's really important for me is the fit. And what I mean by that is, from a personality point of view and a stylistic point of view, are you and the clients on the same page? Or are they willing to explore some other alternatives than what they came in with a preconceived idea? Sometimes people have spent years thinking about this new home to be, and they come in with a multitude of photographs and images of other projects that may all work for 4 or 5 different houses, but not necessarily all in one house. So we have to be able to communicate well. We've got to have a level of trust that I'm trying to steer them in the right direction, and also be sensitive to their goals and objectives as well, and be flexible to a degree. In the past, I've probably turned down 4 or 5 different projects, some of them fairly significant, because we didn't have that proper fit or relationship, or the client had some unrealistic expectations in either cost or style, or perhaps really wasn't willing to consider the greater good of the context in which they're choosing to build in. One of the examples that I can think about is a project on Martha's Vineyard where we had a significant program being presented to me by a very wealthy client that included 35 acres of land on the ocean, multiple outbuildings, significant major home. And I felt, gee, this was terrific. The client gave me a very large retainer. We had a couple of kids in college at the time and a few more on the way to college, and this was a meaningful commission. I really worked very hard to achieve his goals of what they were looking for. But in the end, the client really wanted a very modern glass stucco house surrounded by an area that had design covenants for New England vernacular architecture, and that it really was out of context. I don't think it would ever been approved by the association, the homeowners association, and certainly not reflective of the work that I do on the island. It was very hard to hand that check back in that particular time, and it was a significant amount of money, but it really was the right thing to do. If we all agree that we're going to go down this path together, what I do is I ask each of the individuals, if it's a partnership or clients that are married or whatever it may be, I ask them to each do their own wish list. And why do I do that? Is because couples who have been together a long period of time, oftentimes they come to me and they say to me, well, we've been together a long time, we think alike, we know what we want, and we'll just give you one list, make it easier for you. And I say, well, maybe not. Why don't you each do a list? Don't share it with each other. Let me become the marriage counselor, if you will. And because oftentimes people that have been together a long time, they compromise, and marriage is a compromise. And when we're doing a house, I don't want people to always feel like they've had to compromise for one or the other. I really want to know what they want in this house, and let me try to figure out how we can make it work for everybody. I oftentimes ask people, well, what side of the bed do you wake up on? Do you like sun in the morning? Do you like to have sun in your kitchen? Do you like to watch the sunsets from your bedroom? So we use topography and orientation to really quiz them on their lifestyle. A lot of young couples come to us with little kids, and they don't understand, as the kids get older, the size of the mudroom will have to be much bigger for all of their sports equipment. They may have 2 cars now, and they may end up getting a 3rd car for the babysitter, or the husband may want to get a unique classic car down the road. So we need to figure out all these kinds of things. We can look at basements as a way to incorporate a bigger program without making a bigger house on the footprint. I think my role as an architect is really enhanced by my ability to be the good listener and really understand what people's goals and objectives are individually as well as collectively. And I think that is something that I bring to the table that isn't in the AIA handbook. I think if you're successful as an architect and you have this relationship of trust that really becomes a friendship down the road, people will stay with you and continue to look forward to working with you again.